We are cruising up the road real quick to where Joshua Maddux was found. This is another murder at 8500, and you will see firsthand how close all these murders keep happening. So this is my block, Kelsey's block. This is the block. We're gonna kind of go in the back way here, but we'll show you. We'll show you as we get up here. So, if you've ridden with me before, you know where we're at right now. This is, this is Fairview, but it's also Woodland Avenue. It's Kelsey's block. It's my block. So if you were going to go to Kelsey's house or turn into Kelsey's house, you would turn in right there in this little pull-in right here. She lived in these condos back in there. Doesn't look like anyone is at her house. If you wanted to look into the Mindy Lee murders, I say, because Mindy Lee was killed to cover up some murders. So that's straight ahead of me, actually. Straight ahead out on that Rampart Range, you can see the school off to the right here. We're going to be coming down over at you can see the high school football fields over to the right past these trees. We got to go up this road here. You're getting antsy. So the school is right there, and Mindy Lee was found behind that school in the football fields. We'll go over there a different day. Right now, we're going to where Joshua Maddux was found. Now, I'm not going to be able to get super close. One, the property in which he was found on, the cabin has been torn down. So the cabin's no longer available. Joey Carlson was found in this neighborhood, naked and hypothermia killed. Bullshit. That's a whole nother case. We'll get to that one. We can only freaking look at so many dang cases. There's so many murders up here in 8500. Okay. So at the time that Joshua Maddux was killed, I'm going to show you this property here. So I'm going to show you two things. One, there's these condos that have been built. Okay, so at the time in which Joshua Maddux went missing and killed, this property was not here. So all these houses on either side of the road, they were not here. Right behind the houses to my right, I don't know if I can, I think this is private property somewhat. So I got to be, oh, no, we can look, look, I can show you right here, because that's not private property, that's public. These are public, this is a public road right here. So, I can show you where this cabin was. Okay, so imagine this was just open field. This was all just like that ranch, just like all that right here. Imagine all this right here behind me was open field. That this fence wasn't even here. See this house right here? That house right here, this property is where Joshua, there's the foundation of the cabin in which he was killed in. That's just the foundation of it. The barn is right there. They didn't tear down the barn. And that's a brand new, they redone structure there. They redid all this structure. That used to be the old bar and inn, and that's the foundation of the house Joshua Maddux was found in. There's a couple of other older cabins. But you got to understand, at the time that Josh came back here, none of these houses were here. This is all new. So this was all just big open field, you know. And but that's the foundation of the cabin that he was found in. The chimney, the foundation of the cabin with the chimney he was found in. Lord, I just say a prayer right now for Joshua and his family. I say a prayer for his brother who's gone on to the life after. Father, I pray that both those guys in the age to come have a full and fulfilled life. I pray that justice will be served. I pray that it will not go in vain, his death. I pray that you will open doors so that justice can be served on who I believe is responsible, Mr. Andrew Newman. So if you understand what's going on, all of these these little condominiums on both sides are not. We're not here. This was all just vacant land. It was all part of a big ranch, an old ranch. I don't know if it had been subdivided then, but it was subdivided now. This would have been where you turned in, right here. So this would have been where you turned into the property in which the ranch and everything was made there. So that's where you would have, this would have been fenced, but that fence right there to the left would not have been there. That would have just been open property. This area was all part of the ranch at one point. It had been subdivided off by the time this all went down, but not the condos. So this is the other side of the property. Dad, did you see my question about Kelsey's house? No, I didn't. You can ask it again. Isn't that the old Thunderhead? Yes, it is the old Thunderhead bar. It's the old Thunderhead property but this was all subdivided after the fact. This would have been subdivided, I'm pretty sure, after 2008. Some of these houses would have been here, not all of them. But all of this property here is the other side now of where we were looking. So I'm gonna make another walk up there on one of these vacant lots right here. So Joshua, you can actually see the foundation from right here. So the foundation to the property is right there on the other side of that fence. I'm gonna walk over there, don't worry. Y'all will see it. Just so you understand, this would have all been, it's like a foot of snow right now. This would have all been open. None of these fences would have been here during the time that this went down. Maybe this fence back here was, But I know that side fences aren't because those condos weren't built. So I'm kind of on a high point here. So what you can see is an old barn. There's an old cabin up there. And then you see right there, that was the foundation of the cabin he was found in. So you can see all of this was part of the old, and that property was completely redone. I know I probably do look like a burglar with my hat on and my black on, but that property, or that's the foundation. Where would the foundation would have been for that old cabin? But Leah made a good point. I look like a freaking burglar right now. And but this is open space, actually. There's this open trail right here. So I think I would have been fine. But I'm still gonna get the heck out of Dodge before someone comes. I'm running through the snow. Whoo, whoo. It's deep. Super deep. I don't want to get cops called on me looking like a burglar. It's almost dark. Woo, woo! SWAT comes pulling in. Damn, that suck. I'm not cold. I don't need a jacket. Whew. I filmed a movie right over at this house. Right here. Movie should be coming out soon, actually. Called Soul Custody. I think the trailer's out. Oh, that damn door. Oh, too much type can answer. Okay, who had a question? Tame. Let's look at Tame's question. Tame. Why would you do this? His family would not appreciate this. Is that really Tame's question? I'm sure his family wants justice for his murder. His family knows that this wasn't an accident. His family knows that this wasn't their son disappearing off into nowhere. This was a deliberate act by a very sick person. So, as a matter of fact, I know his father. I've met his father on a couple of occasions. I didn't know it was his father until I started putting this stuff together. Again, I didn't get into these crimes because I was going after some crimes. I got into this because Kelsey died on my block, and then people started asking me to look into these other missing people, these other murders that had happened here. And then all of a sudden you start doing a little investigation, you find out how incompetent the police are, how incompetent the coroner is. And so Tame's question is no longer there, because Tame's question is meant to bring dissension. I'm not into this. I mean, I would go around and take video of the deer, you know what I'm saying? And so I will drive around and just shoot video of deer if I want to. If I want to shoot video of stuff that may change someone's story, that it doesn't have to be this story that this kid just disappeared and was an idiot and climbed down a chimney. That's ridiculous. If my son goes missing, I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened, why it happened, who could have stopped it, could we have caught this kid? You know what? I believe if Woodland Park PD had looked into this, We may have stopped crimes all across the country. We may have saved a few other people's lives. And so, yeah, you can take your negative talk to someone else's channel, because I ain't got nothing to do with it. But there you go. What do I know? I just live here. So when someone says to me, why are you doing this? It's because I live here. It's because I care about the people in my freaking community. It's because I don't believe what the cops say. How about that? How about I just don't believe the cops anymore? I believe they're a part of some real sick things in this county, and this dad's not going to stand for it. So when you ask me why I do this, one, because I can, two, because I'm not going to walk through life and be silent. As Henry says, the mass of men live quiet lives of desperation. That will not be me. That will not be me. Matter of fact, let's talk about Mindy's death. Now, I know you can't. What do I think the family thinks about that? Because Mindy's mom has talked to me. So let's talk about Mindy's death. Let's wake some people up. Let's go walk around where they said she ran. Let's walk that distance. So I don't have all the details right in front of me, but I don't have all the details. But somehow, some way, they said that she jumped out the car down here and ran to the back of the school into the football fields. You know? So, you know what? It ain't freezing cold out there. I think I can still walk around the public school on a Saturday without getting molested by the police. So, we'll see. So let's talk about Mindy's death for a second. And so there's a lot of deaths in this community that aren't right. So let's not try to put one above the other. But since people want to get all pissed at me about talking about Joshua, I'm going to be talking about Joshua a lot. So if you don't want to see me talk about Joshua, then you probably ought to tune out. So first of all, I gotta make a statement here. This piece of private property right here has something to do. There's something going on up there, okay? I'm not saying now. First of all, this is not now, this is then, okay? Not now, then. They didn't let them go up there and search that property because with the dogs. But they said Mindy Lee ran down that dirt road right there. Okay? Now, I don't know for sure, again, the major details. I don't have them in front of me, and I didn't read them today. And so I can't sit here and quote all that right to you, you know? But what I can tell you, at some point, she ran up this side of the road here. This side of the property, all right? And I don't know if this was paved or what, but at some point, I can't drive up there because it says authorized vehicles only. But that doesn't mean I can't walk up there. I ain't trying to do nothing illegal. I'm going for a walk on this walking path. So don't be people calling the cops on me. Freaking trolls call the cops, and then I have to freaking sit here and try not to get shot. So this wasn't here. This paved road wasn't here. But this was a dirt road. And she ran up this dirt road barefoot. This is what they say. Okay? I don't believe a word what they say. But this is what they say. She ran up this dirt road. This was a dirt road at the time. It wasn't a paved road. And like jumped out the car or something. I think she was dragged out by Woodland Park PD. I think she was killed. Then I think she was placed here by Woodland Park PD. if you ask me. You see the shed up there? Way the fudge up there? So, y'all going for a little walk in the high altitude with Dad. Now this was a dirt road. Freaking, you seen how far I've come? They say she came off the road. Look at this. It's still dirt here. You understand? It's still dirt. So Mindy Lee ran through the snow, the dirt, the ice, the asphalt, the rocks, the glass, and didn't have a scratch on the bottom of her bare feet. She ran all of this, is what they say. I don't believe a word what they say. I think Woodland Park dragged her out of the car, kicking and screaming, because she knew about other murders. Dad's getting his walk on. And she was found propped up on that shed right there. So she jumped the fence, sat down, and died with not a scratch on her in the freezing cold. Are you crazy? She was found propped up on this shed right here. That's where Mindy Lee was found. Y'all tell me she ran that whole way barefoot? From the road even. From the road. In a blizzard. Down a dirt ass road. That's what she did? Come on. Woodland Park PD, y'all gotta commit murder better. They might have fell for that in 2010. They didn't though. They didn't fall for it. And that's why we're still screaming. Foul fucking play. Reopen the murder of Mindy Lee. So ask me again why I do this. Because these women need a voice. Because that boy needs a voice. Because nobody else wants to talk about it. They just want to excuse it. Who knows what those people could have become? Who knows what those generations would have had from those young people in Mindy? Oh, but y'all believe the little Woodland Park report. Y'all believe the Outborn report. Man, look at the rocks on this road. Do you understand in the middle of the night, she'd have run up this road? They said she jumped out the car. No, they dragged her out of the car, kicking and screaming. Don't believe my ass. I'm just a dad with a phone. See, I think I'm on a walking path. There's people walking this path right ahead of me. So that's the story. I'm trying not to look like a crazy talking to my phone, even though I am, right? Little crazy. You ain't got to leash him up. Don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. I ain't worried about him. Not one bit. I know, you know. No, y'all have a good walk.
Thank you.
Hey, buddy. What's up? Hey, what's up?
Have a good night.
You too. So this is a walking path that they just put in not too long ago. Used to be dirt. So they're saying she ran from the road down there, even down the road more. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Y'all saw where I walked y'all to. This used to all be dirt, okay? Dirt. All the way back there. No footprints in the snow. They dragged her up to cover it up. They covered up a lot of murders, people. They've covered up a lot of murders in this town. Quiet little town, look at that. City lights. Quiet little town at 8,500. Serial killing police force at 8,500. Don't believe me. Don't believe a word I say. I'm just a dad with a phone. I don't think anybody else on YouTube's taking you there. I don't care who they've had podcasts with, who they've had talks with. I don't care if they call themselves the Sterns or the Milos and Odies. Only one person took you there. That's the scene, the secondary scene. That's the staged suicide scene. Who the heck commits suicide by hypothermia? Come up with a better one. Come on. Who commits suicide by hypothermia? That was a murder. That was a murder straight up. She was posed. She was disposed of. And it was covered up. It was covered up. So, I think that's all the murdering field trip I can do today. I could take y'all right over to where Joey was killed. Joey was killed just behind those apartments right there in that neighborhood. Yep. Another lady in her 30s. Maybe another victim of Patrick Frazee. I think Patrick Frazee had something to do with Mindy Lee's murder. How about that? I think his brother had something to do with it too. Yeah, his brother's a cop. The Woodland Park PD covered it up. Don't believe me? Dad with the phone just took you there. They tried to sell people the bill of goods that that woman ran down that path in the middle of the night, propped herself up against the little shed there, and froze to death without a scratch on her feet. Not a bruise, not a bump, not even a mark. But don't believe me. No, no, no. Not Dad with the phone. Not Mindy's mom. Don't believe Mindy's mom. Mindy's mom knows what's up. If I could tell you what she really told me, if I could release the whole damn interview, there are witnesses. There are witnesses to what happened. Woodland Park PD knows it. Right now, there's a college girl getting her master's degree in. My wife keeps calling me, but I'm on a live video. Oh, man. Carlson case is a whole nother one. The Joey Carlson case, that's a whole nother animal. We'll have to attack that on another day. You guys just did a quick field trip around Woodland Park, Colorado. I took you first by the property in which Joshua Maddux was found stuffed in a chimney. Then I took you up a walk that they said Mindy made. I don't believe that. I believe they drove a car up there and they planted her body right there. What you're saying is a barefoot girl jumped that chain link fence. The fence was locked up. We know that. Yeah, just look up Joey Carlson, Mindy Lee, Joshua Maddux, Kelsey Barrett. The list goes on. I'm just getting started. Like I said, this is Murder Row. This is murder at 8500. It's not an idea of whether or not these things took place. It's not a question of whether or not these things are questionable. It's a question or not of whether or not we're just going to continue to be silent about the corruption here and these murders that have taken place. In the Joshua Maddux case, they could have eliminated crime spree across America. In Mindy Lee's case, they may have stopped Kelsey's murder. That's the truth. Whether you believe me or not, this is the truth.